Shree maathrey namaha. With the divine blessings of our Mother, Divine Lalita Mahatma Prasundari, Father, Divine Lord Mahadeva, we are discussing Bhakti Priya, Bhakti Vashya by Apaha. In the previous episode, we briefly discussed Bhakta Kannapa's great story. Today, we will discuss about two great devotee saints and poets. All of us know this stotram as Mahishasura Mardini Stotram, which not many people know the composer of, and many people will be surprised to know the composer as well. Tenali Rama, the poet, comical poet, is the one who composed the Mahishasura Mardini Stotram. Tenali Rama was a great Sri Vidya Upasaka who went through a lot of hardships in life when he was rejected by a lot of employers in spite of his comical ability to compose. Probably he was one of the earliest stand-up comedians who made comedy very clean and neat and oftentimes filled with devotion and a lot of sensible humor. In the Vijayanagara Samrajya of Sri Krishna Devaraya, Tenali Ramakrishna Kavi was very, very popular for coming up with riddles, solving the riddles that were posed at him. But what many people don't know about Tenali Rama was he was a great Devi Upasaka of Durga Bhavani, and he composed a stotram called Bhagavati Padya Pushpanjali Stotram. In that Bhagavati Padya Pushpanjali Stotram, Mahishasura Mardini Stotram is an internal part of it. All of us know the very powerful Mahishasura Mardini Stotram, which goes, some of the two stanzas out of it as Aigiri Nandini Nandita Medini Vishwa Vinodini Nandanute Girivara Vindhya Sirodha Nivasini Vishnu Vilasini Jishnunute Bhagavati Heshiti Kanta Kutumbini Buri Krute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shailasute Suravara Varshini Durdara Darshini Durmukha Marshini Harsharate Tribhuvana Poshini Shankara Toshini Kilbisha Moshini Gosharate Danuja Niroshini Ditisuta Roshini Durmada Soshini Sindhusute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardani Sailasute. The context when Tenali Ramakrishna composed this very powerful Mahishasura Mardani Stotram as there was a time where the Bahmani Sultans were attacking the very powerful Vijayanagara Samrajyam from all sides, and Sri Krishna Devaraya, irrespective of his might and power and the armed forces, when he realized all these Bahmani Sultans and the Islamic rulers that were ruling India at that point in time were trying to attack the very powerful Vijayanagara Samrajyam, he reached out to the Ashtadhiggajas in his court, the 8 powerful poets. Some of them are very powerful devotees as well. If they are not powerful devotees, how would Saraswati as Vani come out of them in a form that would appeal as Kavita, which is none other than a form of Nada Yogam. Now, when Sri Krishna Devaraya was a bit frightened with this attack that the Bahmani Sultans were planning and approaching the Vijayanagara Samrajyam, that is when Tenali Ramakrishna Kavi went to the Durga Bhavani temple in the kingdom and composed, and it flew like a geyser would start flowing automatically. Incessantly it just got composed and started flowing out, and at the same time the Bahmani Sultans who were approaching the Vijayanagara Samrajyam saw a rain of arrows from the sky. They never saw a person or a warrior, but many of their soldiers were attacked and killed. Therefore, they had to retreat back. That is the little history of this very powerful Tenali Ramakrishna Kavi, whose devotion towards the Durga Bhavani, who made him the Vikata Kavi, when he prayed to her and the Devi appeared, she offered him milk and curd and said, if you were to drink the curd, you will get the prosperity, and if you were to drink the milk, you will get the gnanam. And at that point in time, when the Devi was offering either this or that, Tenali Ramakrishna took both the bowls, mixed them real quick, and he just gulped both in one go. Now, Devi Bhavani Durga acted a bit annoyed. Not that she did not know what was going on. She Sarvani. She knows everything, the present, the future, and of course the past. Now, when Tenali Ramakrishna did this, she appeared a bit annoyed, and then Tenali Ramakrishna immediately prostrated at her feet and said, "Oh mother, what is the point in having money that does not have... What is the point in having Lakshmi without Saraswati? And similarly, what is the point in having Saraswati without Lakshmi? Therefore, I wanted Saraswati with Lakshmi, and therefore when you offered me either this or that, without your permission, I gulped, mixing both of them together. Therefore, forgive me, O mother. If a mother becomes angry at the son, then who is the refuge for the son?" At that, the mother smiled at Tenali Ramalinga or Tenali Ramakrishna Kavi and said, "I appreciate your timeliness, and I also appreciate your honest apology. Therefore, you will become a Vikata Kavi, or a comical poet who will be very powerful, and you be careful with what you say and when you compose, because whatever you say will also come true." Therefore, Tenali Ramalinga or Ramakrishna Kavi, whenever he spoke, he always concluded a lot of things with the maybe, and did not necessarily say yes or no, because of the boon that was given to him by Mother Durga Bhavani. And this Haigiri Nandini, Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Stotram is composed by Tenali Ramakrishna. Then we also briefly discussed in the early days of the podcast about the great Kavi Kalidas. Nobody knows what the name of that stupid shepherd is or was after he got married to the great devotee princess Bhakti Priya, that princess of Ujjain, who believed in Mahakali, said, "Whatever Kali does, she does with a reason, and if I am married to you, that is also a Leela of Kali, and you go to the Kali temple and beg her for wisdom, Vidya." And when Tenali Ramakrishna, when Mahakavi Kalidas, before he became Kalidas, as a stupid shepherd, he went to the Kali temple in Ujjain, which we can visit even now, and sat in the temple in the night at his wife, the princess' suggestion. And when Kali was returning back from the rounds of the Nagaram, since he is the Nagara Devata of Ujjain Nagaram, he did not open the doors, and he said, "Oh mother, unless you give me bidde, I will not open." Kali became ferocious for a moment. Then she realized that this ignorant person who is locking the doors is none other than her Bhakti Priya, her devotee's husband, the prince's husband, and he is sitting in the temple with full trust on his wife's word when she said, "Go to Kali temple and request her." And Mother Kali asked Kalidas to stick his tongue out, and when she wrote the Bijaksharams on his tongue, he composed the very famous Shyamala Dandakam, which goes as Manikya Veena Mupalaranti Madarasam Manjula Vagvilasam Mahendra Nitikomalangi Matanga Kanya Mansasmaram Chitrapuja Chanagatan Se Kuchonate Kunkumaragshena Pundreksh Pashankush Pushpanaste Namaste Jagadeka Mata Mata Markata Shyama Matangi Madhushalini Kuryat Kadaksha Kalyani Kadamba Vanvasani Jaya Matangatani Jaya Nilot Pradyute Jaya Sangita Rasike Jaya Leela Shukapriye. And then he concluded, when he was composing from an ignorant shepherd to looking at Lalita Tripur Sundari in Mahakali towards the end of Shyamala Dandakam, the same Kalidas calls and addresses mother as Sarva Yantratmike, Sarva Tantratmike, Sarva Mantratmike, Sarva Mudratmike, Sarva Shaktyatmike, Sarva Chakratmike, Sarva Varnatmike, Sarva Rupes, Jaganmatrike, He Jaganmatrike, Pahimam, 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 Pahi. And he says, "O mother, you are the source of all the yantras, all the tantras, all the mantras, all the mudras, all the Shaktyatmike. You are the soul of all the Shakti of the world. Sarva Chakratmike and Sarva Varnatmike, you are all colors. Sarva Rupatmike, you are the soul behind all the faces. Jaganmatrike, you are the mother, Abrahma Kita Janani from Lalita Sahasranamam. He Jaganmatrike, Pahimam, 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 Pahi." By the time he concluded the Shyamala Dandakam, he already understood the Veda Tattvas. That's what Bhakti does. And for Bhakti, trust is very important. In this episode, we made a brief attempt to the extent the Divine Mother allowed to discuss about two very great devotees, Mahakavi Kalidas and Vikata Kavi Tenali Ramakrishna, who are great Sri Vidya Upasakas. Stay blessed, spread the bliss around. Shri maathrey, namaha.